Yes, I'm nervous. But you look in that hole.
Which one? There are
And then you
four.
speak in that hole. There's not 4 holes, there's 3 cameras and you're looking at the main one.
There are 3. Which one is the main one?
No idea. Just look in that direction. What's up folks, it's Uranus, we're in Brussels, welcome to another video. I'm back and as you can see today we have a guest on our channel. Now today's video, whether you are on testosterone replacement therapy, TRT or you're taking steroids, there comes a point where you are going to have to include your partner. If like me, if you're on TRT, it's a lifelong treatment. You're always going to have needles, gears, prescriptions and blood work in the house, and you definitely don't want your girlfriend to find your needles before you had that conversation with her. Now, how do you start that conversation? Well, you definitely don't want to do it like me. I was 29 years old and I had to tell my date that I was still going through medically induced puberty and I was gonna be on treatment for the rest of my life. Now, before we start the video, although from time to time we like to play doctors and nurse, we are not doctors, so none of this is medical advice. All right, c'est parti. This is you and this is me.
Nice. On y va, on y va.
Very small. So I was saying, I remember at the very beginning of our dating life when we used to have sleepovers, I was terrified of telling you that I was on hormonal replacement therapy, and so when we had sleepovers, I would leave my preloaded testosterone syringes in my car in the glove box. Except we met in winter times and I used to pin in my car before going to the gym, and I remember very much on one Saturday morning my testosterone was pretty much almost frozen and I'm using 29G insulin syringes and it felt like I was putting a popsicle in my leg, and I remember I had problems walking for almost a week after that, and so I was like, definitely, okay, now I've got to tell her. Now as you can see, I have anxiety in my life. I have anxiety.
Anxiety.
Voilà. Anxiety issues. So I picked her up from language school and I gave her the explanation in the car, but I was so mixed and confused that at the end of the conversation she thought I was transgender. So
But yes, I did, because you didn't know how to express yourself.
well, needles and products are generally
No,
associated
it wasn't that the needles, the stuff. The problem was that you were making out of it such a big issue. So I thought, like, okay, maybe he changed his gender in the past.
You had already seen me naked.
So maybe you changed it in the past. Now it's all done.
They can do beautiful things and miracles, but not that.
I don't know.
So how should I have told you instead of what you
But
got
you told me, but it's just the first time you told me. No. It wasn't the first time you told me. Your first time you told me, like, you told me you have something to tell me. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you were like, I have something to tell you. And you were so stressed about it that you were afraid I'm going to break up with you because of that. So I was,
It happened before.
yeah, I know, but I was thinking, so before we had the conversation already at home, I was thinking that, you might want to tell me you changed your gender or something like that. I don't know, that you murdered someone, that you've been in prison, whatever.
So you were relieved when you heard I was only on.
Yes, actually, yes, I was relieved. I was like, that's it? That's
So
all?
I just should
That's
have
all?
told you I'm on a lifelong doctor's prescribed medication.
Yeah.
But it's quite weird, right? Because you meet a guy on Tinder, 1 month later he's telling you that he's on hormonal replacement therapy and there's going to be needles around the house for the rest of the time.
Yeah, but
and
it's
so,
like what? It's not shocking.
what were your first thoughts when I told you that I had lived basically without testosterone in my body and I didn't start puberty until I was 26 years old, and I lived in a sick body for more than a decade?
What was my first? Well, that it must have been difficult to do it later in your life. That the development, everything didn't go as supposed to go. So that it must be very tough and very difficult times for you in between the time you started yourself.
It was difficult at that time. I was really happy to start treatment and to see progress, and of course it was late. Should have started in my teenage years, but because of doctors here in Belgium and me being too shy to go to the doctors more, that was a real issue for me. And I was relieved that when I told you, you took it well and you didn't run away, because the previous person I had a conversation about health issues, well, she just left me, so that was a bit, that was nice. You don't mind that?
Because she didn't love you as I do.
Thank you. Well, now they're going to be...
Continue.
Yes.
Let's go.
You don't mind that every time we're going somewhere, when we're traveling, I always have to bring a pack with medication, needles, ampoules, pills, stuff that needs to be in the fridge, and so on. It's actually quite funny because when we're taking the airplane and we're arriving at the airport, I have my medication and my prescriptions and so on. Everything's packed well, and I'm always terrified that they're going to open it and not have me take it on the plane and so on, because then the holiday is basically wasted. But I never had any single issue with my medication, but we always have issues with my pre-workout and my oats, which I always have in my bag. But you don't mind that we have to travel with all of that stuff?
No, absolutely no. That we have to travel with it. It doesn't bother me at all. Well, the stress before going for the travel, which is here around the house, it's more annoying than that, because I know you have to prepare everything, not to forget anything, and it's a bit of stressful for you, because if you would not have your medication, our holidays would be wasted. But the moment we have everything and we're leaving and we're at the airport or whatever, doesn't bother me at all that you have to have it with.
Well, that's the thing. There's certainly medications if I don't have with me, like if I forget my thyroid hormones, it's going to be really difficult to buy one in another country with a prescription that's from here. It's going to be really hard. So then holidays would definitely be different. If I forget my testosterone, I'll probably still be good for just about a week, but after that, if it's a 2-week holiday, we will definitely feel it. How's the coffee?
Good. I brought chocolate with me too. We have to have with my coffee.
So good. So I've had quite a lot of comments when I shared my story about people that think they have an issue with hormones, but just like me, they are too scared to seek a doctor. Now, I waited until I was almost 26 years old. I know I'm not the only one. I've seen people that just went to doctors in their 30s to find out that their testosterone levels were abysmally low. I had issues, but I was too embarrassed to talk about them. How would you support someone that is too ashamed to go to a doctor's office and undress? Because basically at one point in my life, the thought of undressing in front of a doctor, an assistant, a nurse or whatever, and having another person grab my balls, ass, testicles, whatever it is, was really terrifying. These days it happened already so many times, I simply do not care anymore. But back in those days it was like a real blocker for me. So
well, there is nothing to do about it. If you want to do it, if it's really you want to change your life and you want to move forward and go for it, something you have to do. You have to go there and you have to do it. There is no other way around it. So just do it, and then it's gonna be over, and you will get used to it little by little. The first time it's always the most difficult if you have to go somewhere like that. You have to do it. No one's gonna do it for you.
For me, it was really tough because I hit a critical point in my life, and my back was against the wall, and basically there was no other option at that time. I was really having a bad time in my life. I lost someone that ditched me. I lost my job, and then I had all these health issues I had to deal with. And going to the doctor's office. Luckily, I fell on a nice one. The urologist I'm still going to now. There was nothing to be feared. My fear was there actually for nothing, because they're professionals. Basically, this guy is seeing 25 pair of balls every single day or something like that. So
they're used to it. It's nothing shocking for them.
Yes, exactly. Well,
for them, it's not for you. It's more for you. It's a blockage, but for them, it's nothing shocking to go there.
It's still a man with latex gloves, It can scare men.
Usually they don't use latex because a lot of people are allergic to latex. So most of the time the gloves nowadays, they are natural gloves.
I will ask next time if he's using latex gloves or...
but there is a lot of people allergic to latex.
I'm not the only one that had to deal with shit like this and extremely delayed puberty. We've covered cases like Brandon Westfall on the channel, and most recently the famous actor Max Casella from a lot of series that we know. How do you think we can bring more awareness? Because in the end, that's really the point of the channel, is that if I can help somebody out there who's in my situation, my previous situation, and who's too scared to go to a doctor, how can I bring more awareness?
Oh, you should go on the more social networks with that, because you're just on YouTube. What I think, guys, you think that too. It's a pity, because he should have his Instagram. So you would spread more to the people who need the help, and they would find you more easily.
So at me on TikTok talking about this?
TikTok is the one.
Instagram?
You put there the little shorts, or Instagram you can make the interesting posts about something. then it can link the people to your videos. The TikTok is the same. Not all the TikTok videos must be made a stupid way.
They're short videos, you know. How do I say something intelligent in less than a minute?
I will teach you.
Thank you. How do you think this journey has shaped who I am today?
Well,
other than the anxiety and the obvious.
Yeah. I think a lot, because since you had to do everything on yourself, you had to find a lot of strength in yourself, and it wasn't for free. You had to work. Hard to get where you are right now in your life, and how much you change yourself. So I think it did have a big influence on making who you are nowadays.
Yeah, it changed a lot. I think I would be a different person, maybe a bit more boring if I didn't have these issues, but I grew through it. Fun fact, I remember I'm not that good at communication, and I was still living at my mom's place when I started HRT at the beginning, and I didn't tell her none of it. That probably doesn't surprise you that much. And so one day she just found my HCG in the fridge and needles in my room. And then I had to have the conversation, probably the most awkward conversation of my life so far, with her. So communication is definitely quite difficult, but communication is key.
Because
right?
And what she thought it was for?
It's difficult, because when you grow up, boys, it's more with their father, the testosterone side, and growing up and becoming a man. Like, she probably knew something was off, but she never really realized what it was or what she could do to improve it. So love was there, and she definitely took care of me. But yeah, that side for a woman, it's probably more difficult. It's really the dad that has to see that your son is transforming from a child to an adolescent into a man. It's more of the dad's part of what needs to happen, and that wasn't there. But anyway, she found my needles, and she saw basically the first 4 years of my pubertal transformation. So she witnessed a lot of it. Other question for you.
Yay.
What about steroid cycles? Say I wanted to start a steroid cycle and blast 500 milligrams of testosterone in my ass every single week for a month or 4. 500 milligrams, by the way, is 4 times my HRT dosage. And I bet there's a lot of guys out there that do not tell their partner that they're doing steroid cycles, So I've actually never told you when I increased my testosterone, For the past 3 years, there's always been a moment where I'm going from 125 for 250 for a couple of months. If you're on TRT, it doesn't change that much. It just gives you a placebo effect and a nice little muscle building effect. It's mostly in the head from 125 to 250. But I've never told you. How would you start that conversation if you're a dude and you want to do a steroid cycle? How would you tell your girlfriend?
I don't know. If you tell me you want to start a steroid cycle, well, I hope you know what you're doing. I know that you're always studying everything a lot to have the good information about what to do and how to do it. So I would trust you that you're going to do it correctly, and you're not going to do anything what is bad for you and your body.
That's what most guys...
So that you're still going to keep it like in some good range, so you're not going to get yourself overflowed with steroids.
500 milligrams can already change a man, but the thing is, in my situation, I'm well aware...
And
No, go ahead.
If it would start to change you mentally, I will tell you, my way.
I'd say if I ever do 500 milligrams, you would definitely feel it on me. I would be more on edge. Maybe with the finasteride and all the rest of the shit I'm taking, it would make me even more anxious. But the thing is, I know better, and I know a lot about testosterone and steroids and so on. But for a regular dude that is going to do his first cycle, I don't know that they don't know that much when they're doing it.
That's what I think is the problem, because they don't have the enough knowledge about what they're going to do and how to do it correctly, not to get all the negative consequences for your body.
But you would definitely think that someone should tell their girlfriend if they're going to do that, because I think there's a lot of people that don't.
Yeah,
and then
but after you have the girlfriends, which they will ask some more questions about it, and you have the girlfriends who's like whatever,
Well, if you have somebody who just says whatever,
or they're like, yeah, do whatever you want. I mean,
it has an influence on your
relationship, yeah.
I was gonna say your genitals, but yes, relationships.
Because if you're on the edge, I have my pre-period, I'm on the edge, we're breaking here shakers together,
Yeah. Because I'm not bipolar, I'm actually tripolar, you know. There's two people up there and then there's her voice in my head, so it's tripolar.
That's the best
all the time.
voice.
Voilà. So yeah, communication, sorry, communication is key, and I should have just told you straightforward without all the stress and the anxiety and so on.
It's not necessary to have a stress and anxiety in life.
If you have an issue, book an appointment with a doctor endocrinologist. It's their job basically to receive you well, to not judge you and to just treat you as a neutral patient and to help you forward. And I hope my videos have helped a lot of people here to take care of themselves and to seek help if they need it. I wish there was more knowledge here in Belgium in the doctors world, especially at endocrinologists, because there's a lot of mistakes. There's people being misdiagnosed. Like if you look at my file and my history, I was accused of having taken steroids. Basically, the first times I went to the doctors, if you look at my pictures, that's certainly not the body of somebody that is taking steroids. So there's a lot of mistakes and protocols are not always the best. And in the end, people can end up feeling like shit. So I'm not allowed to give medical advice in any way because I'm not a licensed doctor, but it definitely hurts when you hear about somebody that's finally starting testosterone replacement therapy, that did all of those steps and that ends up on a protocol of like 350 milligrams of testosterone every 3 weeks, that just sucks because you'll be on a roller coaster and in the end you'll feel more like shit than before. So communication is key and finding a good doctor. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Definitely leave me a comment, please. It wasn't very easy to have this person here next to me.
I'm busy.
Voilà.
I don't have time.
Very busy. I have
a lot
to,
of things in my life.
Contact the secretary and to book an appointment, a Teams meeting, and so on. So thank you very much. Leave me a comment. Let you know what you thought of the video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Uranus and girlfriend
Out.
out. You have to get you. That's because you have to look at the hole there.
I was trying.
Without your eyes can
Like
never.
that. I was looking at the hole like that. Look.
For
Even
some-
your brother told me yesterday that you're such a lucky bastard to have me.
He was drunk,
So what? It counts.
and
still.
we paid for his food there. He had.
We're not making these videos.
Oh yes. No,
Make my coffee now.
yes, I will.
But
make
I don't
you
know if I
coffee.
should have second coffee.
I'm already on 600 milligrams of caffeine today, and it's a Sunday. So